Hi guys, welcome back to Impact and Influence. I'm so very excited today to have Michelle Tucker and Linda Johnson with us from Spring Buyers Agency. Hi ladies, how are you?
Hi Kylie, thanks so much for having us.
And for anyone that doesn't know about Spring Buyers Agency, ladies, where are you located?
We are based on the Central Coast, so it's about 90 minutes, a little bit less from Sydney, north of Sydney.
And this is halfway between Sydney and Newcastle.
Yep. Okay. So it's on the map. You've got to get on the website and have a look. I've been looking around on your website this morning. Lots of new collateral on there since we spoke last, but we'll get to that in a minute. Look, I've had the pleasure of knowing both of these incredible ladies for a long time now. Both had esteemed careers in the real estate industry. Michelle, do you want to share with us a little bit of a backstory around how you came to be here before we start talking about this exciting new venture?
Sure. I guess go back to when Linda and I first met, which was at LJ Hooker in Terrigal, actually, where I first met you as well, Kylie. So I spent nearly a decade there as a selling agent, first of all on reception, actually, and then I moved into associate agent and then worked really closely with the principal there for 10 years. So I really got a good stronghold on the market up here and a lot of experience and built a lot of really great relationships. And then from there, I went into property development. I worked directly with a developer on mid to high rise luxury apartments in Gosford. So I went into a whole new world of marketing and project marketing and managing sales teams and working with agents that way. And then I did a short stint with McGrath as their head of projects up here. So I worked on a really great $400 million development in Gosford. So that led me to wanting a change after that, I guess, being in projects and that really fast-paced world for a while. Linda had given up her corporate career as well, off the hamster wheel. And we kind of wanted to be in business probably since way back 2000. When we met in 2008, probably 5 years ago, we started talking about a business, but funnily enough, it wasn't going to be real estate.
And that's when the brand explosion started, right?
Yeah.
We'll hold that and we'll get into that in a second. Linda, your background, because it's a great 360 holistic approach like Michelle's as well. I think it's important to understand.
Yeah, I think I've worked in just about every corner of real estate. So I started back in the late 90s, scary to say. And I started my career in the eastern suburbs of Sydney, which was fantastic. Worked part of a fantastic franchising down there and learnt everything there was about real estate. I had a stint out in the country. So I've also worked in regional New South Wales in real estate as well, which was literally back then the polar opposite to what was happening in the city.
I did not know that. Whereabouts?
Bathurst.
There you go.
Yeah, and back then Bathurst wasn't the thriving city that it is now. So I don't think they even had a coffee shop back then. So a long time. And then from there, I came back to Sydney. And I've worked again in the eastern suburbs and then the lower North Shore. So I've worked as a selling agent predominantly in my career. And then I moved from that into more leadership roles. So manager of sales teams, then director of an entire agency, operations manager. And then I moved into corporate. So, and then I also had a stint when I say a stint, 5 years working with the largest business broking firm in Australia. And I headed up the Australian operations here. So I've had a very rounded background, also worked in property management as well. So my last sort of 20, I think I'm 26 years in the industry now. So I've loved it.
Spring chicken.
We've covered pretty much every part of real estate there is to cover, I think.
And I think two incredible careers, and no doubt there was a lot of people that said, what are you doing? Like walking away from it and going into your own business. So we've now got Spring Buyers Agency and we've got property management, Spring Buyers Property Management recently. So you mentioned before, Michelle, that you were looking at going into some other business, but not real estate. What was that?
Look, I think that we'd both been selling agents and I think we'd gone in different directions in our career and we were just exhausted by that part of the industry. I think we were looking for something different, something new, and we were organically helping people with our experience buy property. That's how it came about. It was literally a conversation one day. Linda was helping some friends buy a property. I was sort of helping my son's friends, give them guidance on buying first homes. And we thought, hang on a minute, like, why aren't we doing this as a job? Why are we doing this? It's the balance is not fair here. The sellers have representation, but the buyers don't. And we'd both toyed with it over the past 12 months. I had toyed in that space, and so had Linda. So just, this is our business.
Where does one start? Where does one start, Michelle, when you go, okay, we're going to do a buyer's agency's business? Like, literally, what's the first thing you did?
We named it that day, literally, the name. And then the accountant was called that day. And we were sitting in his office the next day. And that's how it went.
I think viewers, guys, if you're not picking up on it, like, these two get stuff done.
We had the company registered. We had the
we were ready. Literally, we didn't even think about it. And look, I guess for someone out there who is perhaps contemplating doing it, for us, it was a natural progression. It sort of happened organically and perhaps easier than it would for others because of our experience and how long we've been in the industry for. But nevertheless, you know, it's all about having a team of people around you. So Michelle mentioned our accountant. You know, we've had mentors and coaches and each other, which is fantastic as well. And we've got, whilst we've had similar careers, we actually have different skill sets and different backgrounds as well. So it really all came together. I think it was the right time, the right plan. And we just, we didn't kind of, whilst there was a lot of thought in it, we just got doing it. Instead of, you know, plenty of people sit back and they wait till everything's perfect. You just got to get on and just get out there and do it.
Remember that conversation we had? Initially, we wanted everything to be perfect before we started, but we just realized that that was never going to happen. It was just get started. I think if you're waiting for that perfect moment when everything's perfect and ready to go, we
never do it.
Got there.
No, that's right.
We couldn't have got there at that point. So we just made a conscious decision.
We burned
start before you're ready and burn the boat. And we did it.
And I think it was interesting. A couple of months ago, we were doing some work, and you know, you're both very academic as well as, you know, great salespeople, which is a rare quality to find both. But looking at your 10-year business plan, I've got to tell you, I was blown away. Very short and sharp and succinct. But as you said, like, don't get caught in the fluff. Just where are we heading? Being really clear on your vision, having absolute clarity on where you're heading, and hitting those benchmarks. So I think, if you don't mind me sharing with everybody, you said today you're already a couple of years up or into, in 12 months, your revenue. So that's meant for you growth and growing pains at the same time. So we're doubling our team going into the new year, 2 new bodies. What are they going to be doing?
So we have a new buyer's agent starting with us in January, who comes with also a wealth of experience. She's been in the industry for a very long time and is a Central Coast local with her family as well. She's obviously been through the process of buying and selling property, which is very important when you're setting out and you're guiding and giving advice to clients. So we're super excited to have her start. So she'll be working with us on the Central Coast to help meet the demands of our business and our clients. And then we also have Steph Grattan, who's just started with us. She comes with 15 years experience in the industry, and she is heading up our property management department. So we've started that to, I guess, as an extension of our service. We just found that, well, obviously we want to build an asset for our business, which is really important. But more importantly, we wanted to keep continuing our service with our investor clients. So we were finding we choose the property, so we choose the product. We've built the rapport with our client up until that point, and it is a bit of a journey sometimes, and we get to know each other really well. So it's just sort of like an organic transition to also manage the property, and we certainly had the resources and the skills and the experience to do it.
And they were asking us, can you do it?
Yeah, the trust and the relationship was there. So it seemed like a natural progression, and you've both got experience in that space. So that's incredibly exciting for the new year. Are you guys seeing a particular migration of where your buyers are coming from? Like, is it particularly Sydney?
Yeah, Northern Beaches predominantly. A lot of people coming from there because, you know, like everywhere, life's busy, more work-life balance, property prices, you know, all of those things coupled together, it's starting to make people reevaluate their life choices and appreciate the more balance in their life, and, you know, spending more time with family, being closer to the beach, and owning their own plot of land. You know, many people don't want to be unit dwellers or apartment dwellers anymore. They want space, they want a pool, they want to be close to the beach, all of those things, and it's more affordable as you go further north.
It's definitely COVID driven as well, because it's just opened up a whole new world to these people that can now work remotely a couple of days a week. It's a big.
So what's that influx done to the market prices? What are you seeing?
It's driven this market up here, no doubt. You know, there's been a few other things happen. You know, North Connect's obviously opening. It's been coming for 5 years. It's fantastic. It's shaved probably 20 minutes off the journey. But the COVID change has without doubt driven this market, because people to commit to a 5-day commute is a lot. A lot of people did it, but it's a big commitment. You know, you're gone 12 hours, 14 hours a day. So having this work from home ability, even 2 days a week, sometimes more, it's just, people are just bailing out and thinking, well, I'm happy to commute 2 or 3 days a week and live up there. They can buy a better house, as Linda said. They don't have to live in an apartment. They can live near the beach.
So what would I be looking at for a 3 or 4 bedroom, you know, family home? Talk me through a bit of that.
Yeah, so this is the thing, right? This migration's driven prices in certain parts, more parts than not, by 3 to 4% increases.
30 to 40.
Oh, sorry, 30 to 40.
I was going to say, where do I sign?
Where do I sign? No, 30 to 40.
And the 30 to 40%, guys, you've got some really cool analytics and some measurement tools where people can visit your website. And so tell us a little bit about that.
So we've broken down each individual. So there's 52 suburbs on the Central Coast. So we've broken those down. Some of them are really quite small, but it gives a really good snapshot, and it's current as well. So a lot of the data online there's a 3-month lag, where ours is at the end of each month. So so the data gives you, you know, everything from the highest sale price, the lowest sale price, the median house price, various trends within the market within that suburb, vacancy rates, you know, all the key data that you need to understand the suburb as a whole, whether you're a home occupier or a investor. And it really helps to narrow down the areas where, you know, that might be suitable to your lifestyle, and also what you need, access points, all of those sorts of things, infrastructure, facilities. So so it really helps people to do
challenges, isn't it?
Yeah, the preliminary real estate
they can buy
research. Yeah.
Really helps with that. And I think, sorry,
exactly what you said, Kylie. That's the biggest challenge. What can I buy for my money, and where can I buy it? And that's where people in Sydney are engaging us, because we can work out where they can buy the best property in the best location for their particular budget. Because it's really hard, particularly with the way the market's moved over the past 18 months.
How long are you finding? So say I engage you guys tomorrow. How long are you finding it's taking me to look or find something up there? What's your average days on market?
We sort of say 4 to 6 weeks at the moment, don't we? So we, from time of engagement to signing a contract, probably within that, it's happened in a week, but we certainly don't want to promise that to people. That is a timing thing. We have had instances where it's happened that quickly, but generally on average 4 to 6 weeks, stretching out a little bit at the moment with a lack of stock. And we, you know, that could trend could continue a little bit, but on average we'd say 4 to 6.
Yeah. Okay. And tell me, for anyone that's watching this that's thinking about investing in themselves and going out on their own, or just even if they're, you know, a sales agent watching it or a small business owner, and they're looking at ramping it up with respect to marketing or best in sector technology over the next 12 months. Linda, for you in marketing, and then I'm going to ask you, Michelle, from an operational side of things, what would you do differently again, or what's made an impact on your business in the last 12 months that you would encourage someone else to do?
I would say, or from a marketing perspective, because we haven't truly done anything, you know, out of the ordinary, I think consistency. Definitely a consistent message. So knowing your identity and what your brand is, really creating that and staying consistent to that and being regular in your communication. So, but not just, chest beating, it's all about us. It's, being able to offer some sort of value. So helping with education pieces, talking about market trends, actually backing yourself and showing that, you are qualified, you do know what you're talking about. It's really, really important. So from a marketing perspective, I think we would do the same all over again. We engage professionals because we are not marketers. So we outsourced that and found the people that were most aligned with us to work with us, collaborate, and then share our message, share who we are, and stay authentic to who we are. We didn't go out there trying to be people that we're not or someone that we're not. So we've always maintained that authenticity, and we will continue to do that right the way through.
Yeah, awesome. And Michelle, for you, with, from the operational side of, you guys have been running and doing everything, is there anything you would do differently, or what has made a positive impact for you guys?
I think from the get-go, Linda and I really sat down and figured out the important platform that we wanted. We sat down and we really delved deep into what we wanted as a business. Culture is incredibly important to us. So we really nutted that out, and we took the steps to get the foundations of the business right. So we mentioned the accountant, but we took many, many steps. We engaged mentors, we spoke, we got opinions, we researched. It sounds like it all happened very quick, but there was a lot of work went into the foundations of the business and how our partnership was going to run.
Like putting your partnership agreement together and making sure. That's a good idea, isn't it? Getting that right on the way in rather than the way out.
We really put we worked weeks and weeks and weeks on the foundations. We even locked ourselves in the room at Bell's for a whole day and put that 10-year plan together. It was really important, where we've been around the track a few times and we're friends as well. So we didn't want to get this wrong. So I think I wouldn't change what we did. No. I actually think we did it really well. And it seems to be working.
and I love what you say around, the operational side of things is the planning. We all know the old saying about, failing to plan.
Really,
and then incredibly important. And I think, Linda, you touched on quite a few things, which I don't know that you actually realized you were doing, but I'm just laughing because in my course that I do around world-class customer experience, I talk around the pillars of customer experience. Relevance. So what you're sending your client, make it relevant to them. Be consistent in your communication. Be competent, because they only want to deal with people that know what they're doing. They, have a good BS detector and can smell that a mile away. And just being authentic in yourself. Be you. Everyone else has already taken. So you just nailed my customer experience course in like 4 minutes. It's amazing.
One of the comments we got a lot, do you remember? The clients we would meet with our clients, and it was much harder in lockdown because we did a lot of Zooming like everyone else, but often, and I don't think I've ever had it said to me before, but often our clients would meet us and they'd go, "Oh, I really like the energy." Yeah. And they'd comment on energy all the time. And it was quite unusual for people that we didn't know very well to be commenting on our energy, but it was happening again and again and again. And we're like, this is interesting. But
it's just contagious. Like every time I talk to you guys, it's, we get so much out of it. And then we're like, we need to rein it back in because we're having too many brain explosions. But that's sort of like, staying on track and pulling it back in. I am so excited for your team next year. The growth has just been incredible, and to be trading for 12 months and achieve what you have is awesome. So kudos to both of you. Now, where do we find you? Someone wants to send you business. I'm on the Northern Beaches, or I'm in Sydney. I've got clients moving up. How do we find you?
So probably the easiest way is our website, which is us. So it's springbuyers with an S, agency.com.au. And then all of our contact details on our contact page. So both of our mobile numbers, you'll always get us direct. We don't have a message on the other end. You will always speak to one of us. So both our numbers are there, our email addresses. So we've got a few different ways, or you can reach out via the website as well, whichever way is comfortable. But that's the easiest, but we're always available. We take pride in making sure we answer every, contact that's made with us within 12 hours. So that's probably the easiest. Head to the website and check us out. And there's lots of information there to start your journey, whether you want to ask us about being a buyer's agent or obviously helping you secure a property.
Oh, I love that. Never miss a recruitment opportunity if you want to be a public. And I think too, guys, there's a lot of relevant information going out on this agency's social media as well. So follow them on there too. Impact and Influence is the name of this series. And I'd just like to ask both of you, this is unprompted, so the ladies aren't prepared for this. Not just talking about your journey with Spring Buyers Agency, but over your career, 20-something years in the industry. Is there anything that you would say to anyone that's just starting out?
Yes, I would say learn, and find someone or a group of people that you aspire to, not to copy, but to really listen and take in their experience and the way that they do things, because I definitely think it helps shape your career. I've had the privilege of working with some really amazing people, and I feel really lucky to have watched and learned and picked up. You just pick up so much by doing it and being with them. So yeah, if you're starting out, 100% latch on to somebody that is really experienced and does it really well, and you know, do your best to spend that, you know, initial period. I would say something Michelle brings up a lot, which is really true. I don't think you truly know everything in this industry, or you have, you know, you've learned all the lessons to be learnt until you're sort of at about year 5. There's a lot of growth in learning in that initial 5 years. And everyone seems to want to fast track that. Don't rush it.
There's no magic tablet, right?
There's no textbook. It's really in the practice and the do.
Yeah, so true. And you're just such a product of your environment.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's awesome advice. Michelle, for you, is there anything that you'd recommend to anyone starting out?
Yeah, there is. I would probably say be you, be authentic. Don't try and fit into a mold of the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I myself, and I'm sure Linda has, have mentored people along the way, and it's probably what I've taught them to do. Be authentic, find a culture that aligns with you. You know, try not to make yourself fit into something that doesn't, because that will bring out the best, I believe, in people. And communication. That is the key in this industry. We pride ourselves on it, and we have put in place steps to ensure that our communication is second to none. It's such a simple thing to do. And even if you have to say something that you know won't be well received, or it might not be what the client wants to hear, say it, do it, communicate, because silence never works well. And it works really well for us, and we'll continue to do it and encourage our people to do it. I believe it's key to success.
What a wonderful way for us to finish, having impact and influence in your life, in your career, and in real estate. Guys, thank you so much for today. We've taken heaps out of it, and hopefully the phone rings off the hook and you're even busier than what you are now. Take care.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kylie.
Bye.